Okay, hello everybody. I think the webinar is now being broadcast, so let's just do a quick sound check. So can you hear me? Good. Okay, great. Okay, so welcome to today's webinar. We are going to be having a webinar dedicated to the IELTS, the reading section of the IELTS test, and we're going to be focusing on true, false, and not given questions. But before we do that, let's just have a quick introduction. So my name is Daniel, and I will be presenting today's webinar. I am currently in the northeast of the United Kingdom in a small city called Durham. And so perhaps you could tell us, where are you today? Which country are you in? Okay, Vietnam, Cambodia, China, Brazil, Moscow, Vietnam again, Philippines, India, Argentina. Great. Okay, it's nice to see someone from South America here today. Okay, so we've got lots of people from Asia, a few in Africa, seems mostly, some in Europe as well, some in the Middle East. Okay, so it looks like we've got people from all over the world. Great. And maybe you could let us know, what's the nearest city to you? Hanoi, okay. Perfet, Da Nang, Sydney, Colombo. Okay, so it seems that most of you are living near the capital in your country. And what's the weather like where you are today? So here in the UK, in the northeast, it's about 10 degrees, cloudy, a little bit cold. I expect most of you in Asia, it's probably quite nice weather, isn't it? Okay, and so we are going to be doing reading for the academic test. So I imagine most of you are in this webinar because you want to go abroad to study. So which country do you want to study in? Okay, Russia, Canada, UK, Sweden. There's always lots of people that want to study in Canada. Canada is always very popular. Okay, and which subject would you like to study in these countries? Law, economics, English, finance, design. Good range of subjects there. Well, I hope that you are all successful in your test and that you get to study these subjects in the future. So when is your next test? Do any of you have a test coming up? 14th of October. So lots of you in October, some in September, some in December. Okay, well, I wish you the best of luck for your tests. Okay, so let's carry on. We're going to start today's lecture and we're going to be focusing on the IELTS reading test. So these are the aims of this webinar. So I hope by the end of this webinar, you will be able to recognize a range of question types. Because in the reading test, there are lots and lots of different kinds of questions. And so it's important to be able to recognize the type of question quickly so you know what you have to do. Okay, we're also going to be looking at how to understand when to use different reading skills, because there are 3 different reading skills and we're going to be practicing each of these in today's lesson. Okay, we're going to be focusing on true, false, and not given questions. And we're going to be looking at how to avoid common mistakes when reading. So first of all, let's have a look at the question types. So here are 10 question types. Okay, so can you guess what's this first one? It says M choice. What kind of question? Okay, that's right. Yeah, most people got the right word. Multiple choice. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Something answer. Yeah, that's right. Short answer. And the next one is sentence something. That's right. Sentence completion. Yeah. The next one is something else completion. not noun, but it does have 4 letters. What do you take when you are listening to a teacher? That's right, yeah, note completion. These are the kind of questions we're going to be focusing on today. So yes, no, not given. Something, something, not given. That's right, yeah, true, false, not given. Can anyone think of the next word? So this is quite a long word. Each of these lines represents a letter. Not comprehension. What do we do when we put things into different compartments? Or it's not communication. Okay, so this one is categorization, when you have to categorize things. Okay, let's look at the next word. Something, sentence, ending. Sometimes they give you the ending of a sentence and the beginning of the sentence, and you have to match them together, matching sentence endings. Another kind of question is matching something. That's right, matching headings, okay, where they give you a list of headings and they give you the paragraphs, and you have to decide which heading is appropriate for which paragraph. And another kind of question is when you have to locate something information. Okay, that's right, yeah, specific information. And another kind of question is diagram or table or something completion. It's got lots of letters, so it's not map. It's flowchart completion. So these are the 10 kinds of different questions that you will experience or come across in the reading test. And so it's important to be able to recognize them and know what you have to do in order to answer the question properly. So now we are going to practice. Okay, so let's now look at some examples of questions. So here is the first example. So can anyone tell me what kind of question is this? Okay, yeah, looks like everybody's got the right answer. This is multiple choice. Okay, let's have a look at another one. So it says that you have to write 2 letters from A to F. So again, they give you lots of choices. So this actually is the same. This is also multiple choice. Let's look at another one. I'll give you some silence to look at the question. Okay, that's right. Most people got the right answer. This is indeed, again, it's multiple choice. Okay, let's show you another one. Some of you have got the right answer. In fact, probably most of you have got the right answer. This is number 7. So here is the beginning of the sentence, and here is the end of the sentence, and you have to match them up. Okay, let's try one more. Okay, some people are saying 6, some 7, some 8, some 9. Got lots of different answers. But if you look at this word, classify, this is very similar to categorize. So this is a categorization question. Let's have a look at another one. Okay, most of you have got the right answer. Yep, this is a short answer question. So you just have to write no more than 3 words. Answer these simple questions. Have a look at another one. Okay, lots are saying 8, lots are saying 9. So you have to find these specific pieces of information. So this is locating specific information. Okay, next one. And most of you are saying number 3. Let's have a look. Yep, this is sentence completion. Okay, here we have a kind of a table. Okay, yeah, most people have got the right answer. This obviously is table completion. And one more. Okay, so some people are saying 3, some people are saying 4, but the answer should be quite obvious. When you look here, it says complete the notes. So this obviously is note completion. Yeah. And this one? Okay, so this is matching headings. So here we have the headings. So you would have to go away and read the paragraphs and match them to these headings. Okay, next one. Yeah, this is obviously, if you look here, this is obviously number 5. And this is the kind of question that we are going to be focusing on today. Okay, so there are different types of questions and they all require different kinds of strategies. Can anyone think of a reading skill or strategy? There are 3 different kinds of reading skills. That's right, skimming and scanning. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we're going to be practicing today. Yeah, skimming, scanning, and reading carefully. Okay, so here we have skimming, scanning, and reading carefully. Can anyone tell me what is skimming? What are you doing in skimming? Yeah, so skimming, that's right. It's like glancing over the text, just reading very, very quickly, focusing on keywords, headings, topic sentences, etc. Can anyone tell me what is scanning? That's right, Sandra. Yeah, when you're looking for something specific. So if you're looking for a name or a date or a place or a specific piece of information, you need to locate the information. That's what we call scanning. A bit different to skimming. And then reading carefully is obviously when you're intensively reading every single word. And you're really trying to understand the whole passage very carefully. Okay, so you will use a combination of these skills to answer most question types. So there's not enough time in the test to read everything carefully. You will soon run out of time. Also, if you just use your skimming skills, you'll probably get lots of things wrong because you need to read carefully. But you'll be using a combination of all 3 skills. So let's now look at how to use these skills to answer true, false, and not given questions. Okay, so first of all, we're going to be using our skimming skills to understand the general meaning of the text. So we use this skill first to get an overview of the passage. So you should spend 2 to 3 minutes reading the passages quickly, because this will help you to locate specific information later. Okay, so first of all, you should skim the title and the heading. This will help you to identify the topic and organization of the passage. After that, you should skim through the questions. And can anyone tell me, when you are skimming through the questions, what should you be looking for? That's right, keywords. So yeah, be underlining the keywords. You should probably make a note of the question type. Is it matched headings? Is it true, false, not given? Yeah, what is the question type? You'll also be looking out for names, places, dates, or unusual nouns. The answer is often one of these things. Then you will skim the topic sentences. So can anyone tell me, where do we find topic sentences? That's right, it's often the first sentence, the first line of the paragraph, and you will read and highlight the topic sentences. So it helps to have some different colored pens in the test, some of those fluorescent markers, so you can highlight the paper. And you should note the main idea of each paragraph in your own words. So you could just quickly kind of sum up each paragraph. What is the main idea of each paragraph? And lastly, you should highlight the key words in the passage. So as you skim through the passage, maybe you could highlight some of the key words from the question. So the key words in the passage will be the same keywords that we looked for in the questions when we skimmed the questions here. These are the same keywords. Okay, hold on 1 second. So first of all, are the questions. So this is a true, false, not given question, as you can see here. And can anyone tell me, how is it different from yes, no, or not given questions? What's the difference? That's right. So true, false, or not given are fact-based, whereas yes, no, not given sometimes involves more opinion questions. That's right, yeah. Okay, but before we begin, we're going to have some practice with some much simpler examples. So I am going to show you some examples of true, false, or not given questions. So here, this is what you will read in the question, and here, this is what you will read in the passage. And I want you to tell me whether they are true, false, or not given. So in the question, it says that all teachers like to help people, but in the passage, it says that most teachers like to help people. So is that true, false, or not given? Okay, it looks like, oh, hold on. Looks like most people have got the right answer. This is false. Can you tell me why? That's right. Here it says all, here it says most. So the modifier is different. Okay, so all teachers and most teachers is not the same thing. Okay, next one. Girls outnumber boys in art subjects. Most girls study art subjects. Okay, let's have a look. So this is not given. Why? Because there is no comparison in the second one. So here you can see there's a comparison between girls and boys, but here there is no comparison. So the answer is not given. Okay, next one. So in the question it says, on every occasion, the test results were inconclusive. In the passage, it says, the majority of tests showed no clear result. Is that true, false, or not given? So the answer is false. Why? Again, every and majority are not the same. But every means every single one. Majority just kind of means 70, 80% or more. Majority just means most. Doesn't mean every or all. Okay. In the question, it says this car is the best. In the passage, it says this car is the most expensive. Okay, so most people are saying that this is not given, which is correct. Why? Because there isn't enough information to know for sure. Hold on. So it says if you're sure or can't find the answer, you should choose not given. Right. Hold on 1 second. So now we're going to use the keywords in the questions to quickly find the right part of the text to focus on. So I'm going to give you a minute to find the key words in questions 1 to 4. So I want you to read all of these questions and make a note of what you think the key words are. Okay, I'll give you a minute of silence. Okay, so remember the keywords are often dates, places, names, people's names, place names, or unusual nouns. So let's have a look at the keywords then. So here in the question 1, these are the keywords. So this is obviously somebody's name. This is obviously a period of time. Question number 2, the keywords again are Middle Ages. Question number 3, the keywords are scientists. So we've got people, and we've got damage, health, and overwork. And in question number 4, the keywords are trade unions and 19th century. Okay, so now we're just going to have a look at 5, 6, and 7, the last 3 questions. So again, I'm going to give you about a minute of silence to find the keywords. Okay, so let's have a look at question number 5. Keywords are half-time schools and the mid-19th century. Question number 6, the keywords are the 20th century and full-time schedule. And in the last question, these are the keywords: nowadays, needs, differentiated and categorized, and how old. Okay, so we know what the keywords in the questions are. So now we need to then scan through the text to find these keywords. Okay, so I'm going to give everyone about 30 seconds or so to scan through the text and find the keywords. Okay, I'll give you about 20-30 seconds of silence. Okay, so I imagine that you have found the keywords. So here they are. Here is Aries and here is the middle age. So once we've found the keywords, we know that the answer to this question is very likely going to be around this section. So yeah, we know that the answer is here. So once we've done that, we should start reading carefully. So we were just skimming before, but now we are reading carefully. So I'm going to give everyone about 2 minutes to read this carefully. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 minutes of silence to see if you can answer the question. Okay. Okay, so now you have read this passage carefully, and maybe you could read after you've read this carefully, maybe you could read the question again carefully, and then try to answer the question. So we need to decide if this information is the same or different or not given as this question. And is the answer true, false, or not given? The answer is false. How do we know? Because of it here in green. Okay, so there's no distinction between children and adults. Okay. So now this is question number 2. So what you have to do now is follow the same steps. And the answers are in the same order as the questions. So the answer to question number 1 was here. So we don't need to read above this, we just need to read below it. So first you scan the text for the keyword. So can anyone find the keyword here? I'll give you 10 seconds, scan this and find the keyword. Okay, now I want you to start reading this bit carefully. I'll give you 1 minute to read this bit carefully. Okay, so the answer is false. Why is it false? Well, because here, this does not mean children were neglected, forsaken, or despised. So they were not generally unloved. Okay, so this is the answer. This is the explanation why. Okay, so now we're moving on to question 3. The words in red here are the key words. So now we're going to scan through the text to look for the key words. Okay, so I'll give you all about 1 minute or at the most to find the key word. Okay, so did you find the keywords? So here are the keywords. So we know that this is where the keywords are. So that means that the answer will be here too. So now I want you to read carefully. I'm going to give you 1 more minute to read this very carefully and slowly. Okay, some people are saying true, some people are saying not given. let's have a look. So after reading carefully, you should have found that the answer is true. Why is it true? True. The answer is here in this bit in green. Okay, let's move on to next one. So this is the fourth question. We know what the key words are, trade unions and 19th century. We know that the answer to the third question was here, so we don't need to read this bit again. We only need to read this bit. So can you find the keywords? So I'll give you about 30 seconds to find the keywords. Okay, so the keywords are here. So you know that the answer is also likely to be in this section. I'm going to give you about a minute or two of silence to read this. So it looks like everybody has answered the question. Let's go and find the answer. So the answer is not given. Okay, so some of you were right, some of you were wrong. Why? Yeah, the answer here. Majorly contributed, also contributed. So they're not the same thing. It's not given. Okay, let's have a look at, so yeah, you need to watch out for traps. So this question was a bit of a trap. So you should watch out for negatives, modifiers, adverbs of frequency. And if you're not sure or can't find the information, you should choose not given. This is a good strategy. Okay, let's try. We're going to answer questions 5, 6, and 7 now. Again, you know what the keywords in the question are. We've already found these earlier when we were skimming. So now I want you to skim through the text and find the keywords. So I'll give you about a minute. Okay, so hopefully you found the keywords, which are here. So again, that means that you do not need to read this. If this has no keywords in it, the answer is highly unlikely to be here. So now we have to read this bit. So I want you to read this really carefully now. Compare the question and the text. I'm going to give you about another minute of silence to read it very carefully. Okay, so let's have a look at the answer then. So, after reading carefully, what's the answer to question number 5? The answer is false. Why is it false? So the answer here is in the green bit. So this act allowed children to work and attend school. Okay, However, a significant proportion of children never attended school in the 1840s. So you cannot say that most children went to school if a significant proportion of children never attended school. So that's obviously false. Okay, now moving on to question number 6. We know what the key words are: 20th century and a full-time schedule. So I'll give you a few seconds to find these keywords in the text. So this is the part of the text you need to read. The keywords are here. So I'll give you about a minute to read this carefully because some of you are still getting the answers wrong. So I want you to read this really slowly now and compare it to the question. Okay, so let's have a look. So after reading carefully, we can see that the answer is not given. Why? Because the passage doesn't say whether children went to school full time. Okay, good. And the last question is question number 7. So we know what the key words are. They're the key words in red here. Here we have the passage. So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to find the keywords in the passage. Okay, so the keywords are here, which means that the answer will be here as well. So you know that you do not need to read this part of the text. So now I just want you to read this bit really carefully. I'll give you about a minute to read this bit. Okay, so after reading carefully, you should have found that the answer is true. Why is it true? Because of this bit in green. An increasing number of children are being treated as a group with unique needs and are organized into groups in the light of their age. Okay, so let's have a quick review. So, to tackle true, false, and not given questions, you need to follow these steps. So, first, skim for general meaning. So, you should quickly read the title and the headings. You should skim the question and underline keywords in the question. Then you should skim the topic sentences that are generally the first sentence in each paragraph. And you should also note the main idea of each paragraph. After that, you should highlight some of the keywords. Then you need to scan for the keywords in the text, scan the passage for the keywords. And sometimes they might use synonyms of the keywords. So that's something that you also need to look out for. And you remember that you only need to scan forward from the location of the last answer. So if the answer to question 1 was here, and now you're on question 2, you just need to read below it. You don't need to read above it. That would be wasting your time. And lastly, that's when you start reading carefully to check the meaning. So you need to read the question carefully and understand the meaning of the question, and then read the relevant section. So this is the section that we circled. So read the circled bit of text much more carefully, check the meaning, and you should pay attention to negatives and modifiers and frequency words. Sometimes these are like traps. They might try to trick you. Okay, so in addition to these free webinars that we have about once a week, we also offer a paid service